Hello, what's going on, trading homies, and welcome to the channel. My name is Bobby in HD, and we are here to kick off a brand new series today called Conquering the Combine. Now, what is that? Conquering the Combine is going to be us going through together, passing, hopefully, a Topstep $150,000 combine trading futures. Now, this is going to hopefully help out a lot of people. I myself have been trading since 2019 and been trading futures successfully for about the past 2 years now. But like the journey a lot of traders take, I first started in small cap shares, moved to large caps, then moved to options. And once I found out about futures, finally found my home trading the NQ futures contract, which for those of you who don't know, is the futures derivative contract of the NASDAQ 100 index. So focusing very heavily on the tech sectors there in the US market. Now, if you are on a similar path and have maybe dabbled in stocks, maybe dabbled in options, and are coming over to futures for the first time, welcome to the channel. I really hope this helps, and we'll be able to pass this combine together so that you can see what it takes to be successful before jumping in yourself. Or maybe, you are someone who's just dipped the toes in the water with futures before and are looking for some new strategies or maybe some helpful tips and tricks to get over that final hurdle to funding and start becoming profitable and generating some income in futures. Welcome into you all as well. Or for those of you, who are also successful futures traders, I think one of the best things about trading is that we're always learning all the time, and there is no limit to the number of strategies that can work or the ways to trade this market. Makes it so beautiful. And for you all, please engage, maybe take some of what I'm doing, give me some tips and feedback of your own, and really together as a community, we can build something great here. So let's dive in to the combine itself and why we elected to go with the Topstep $150,000 combine. All right, so the prop firm that I've chose to do this Conquering the Combine challenge with you all is Topstep. Now, Topstep was founded in 2012 to 2010. I know the date sometimes varies, but the fact of the matter remains that they are a very, very long-standing and well-respected prop firm in the futures industry. We can make some entire videos on selecting a prop firm later, but really you just want to be confident that the firm that you are trading with has a very substantial and secure trading and business model, so that after all your hard work, and we hopefully finally pass this combine together, get moved over to a sim funded or eventually a live account, we're going to be able to take those payouts. We're going to get paid out in a timely manner, and we can really start to improve our lives and reap the fruits of our labor from trading. So if we take a look here, we have three options for combine sizes. We have the $50,000 combine, the $100,000 combine, or what we're going to be taking a shot at conquering the combine with, the $150,000 combine, with some different profit targets, position sizing, and maximum loss limits, as well as different prices as well. So right off the bat, let's talk about price. That certainly matters. The 50K combine is going to be $49 a month, and that's going to be rebuild monthly until you pass the combine. Moving over to the $100,000, that's going to be $99 a month. Again, rebuild monthly until you achieve success or stop your subscription to the combine. And last but not least, and what we're going to be selecting today is that $150,000 combine. $149 a month, recurring monthly. Now, the one thing I want to say off the bat for anyone who might be purchasing a combine as well, for all three of these combine sizes, there's also a $150 activation fee to get access to your sim-funded or express-funded account once you have passed. So just something to keep in mind when it comes to the total cost of getting started. Now, why did we select the 150K combine? You'll see here at the profit target, we have to make $9,000 in the combine to pass, and that is the highest of all three. We can see the 100K is at $6,000 and the 50K is at $3,000. So you might be thinking, Bobby, what in the world? Why do we want to take the longest in the combine? Don't we want to just jump right into the markets, get into our funded account, start making money? Well, really, the answer to that comes from the maximum loss limit. And this is especially important for you traders who might be brand new to futures or the prop fund space. What the maximum loss limit is if you lose that dollar amount from your high watermark at the end of the trading day, and we'll get more into the rules in a bit later, you're going to fail that combine. And you either have to wait for the reset at the rebill, so the next month, or you could pay for a reset as well. But again, we want to keep those costs to entry low. That's the beauty of a prop firm, right? We're not risking as much of our own money to get access to trading the futures markets. So we can see that the 50K loss limit is $2,000, the 100K loss limit is $3,000, and the 150K account has a $4,500 loss limit. Now, that's going to give us enough room because nobody trades with a 100% win rate and nobody is 100% winning days. So what I personally like is I'm okay with that profit target taking a little bit longer to achieve if it means that we have time, we have room for our strategy to work out, and we know that we're not going to be swinging for the fences trying to pass in 1 or 2 days. We're going to be trading things the right way, and if we have a couple of red days in a row, that's going to be okay because we have $4,500 of drawdown. Now the last thing here, and I put it last for a reason, is the max position sizing. With our 150K combine, we're going to be able to take 15 contracts of a futures mini product, or you could take the associated number of micros. So you could take more micros, which are a fraction of a minis contract. We can dive more into that later. But we could take 15 minis of, in our case, the NQ in our 150K account, 10 in the 100K, and 5 in the 50K. Now, why did I save that for last? Is that we are not going to ever be anywhere near 15 contracts. At 15 contracts on the NQ, for example, that is $300 a point. And if we look at that, that's only 15 points to our max loss limit. So if we're not perfectly precise, we're going to lose our account, and then we'll have to pay a reset or we'll have to wait for the rebill, and now we're spending more and more money. More on that later, but it's very, very important to make your decision, in my opinion, based off the profit target and the room you have, the max loss limit to hit that profit target, not the max position size. Because quite frankly, if you're taking that max position sizing, you're gambling. So now let's head over to our Topstep dashboard and see the rules that we have to follow on our journey to hitting that $9,000 profit target. All right, so welcome to the Topstep dashboard. And let's get familiar with all the information and the different rules that it's going to be showing us here so that we can have the most success in conquering this combine. The first thing that we're going to see here is our account name. So as we know, we went with a $150,000 account and we created it here today on December 2nd. So for anyone who thinks that, we're switching combines in and out, this is the combine number. It always will be. Feel free to check me on that. Also, we'll dive into this a lot more once we get into the platform, but I went with the Topstep X platform, which is Topstep's proprietary trading platform. I really like the way that it works, and it's integrated directly into the website. As you can see here, you can launch your account from the dashboard itself, and we'll dive into that in just a little bit. But most importantly, let's take a look on the right-hand side here at our rules for passing and conquering our combine. So the first thing, as we saw on the prior page, we have to reach and maintain a $9,000 profit target goal. So once we've made $9,000, as long as we're complying with the other rules, we'll pass our combine and be moved into an express funded account where we can start earning real money and real payouts from the futures market. Now, we'll see that there's not that many rules, but the ones that there are, they're important to follow. So the first one here is that our best day cannot be greater than 50% of our total profits, or what's called the consistency target. So all this means essentially is if we take 9,000 and divide that by 2, we're going to get $4,500. So no single day can be greater than $4,500. So for example, if we were to make $5,000 on day 1, that's over the 50% profit rule, and we're going to actually have to now make more than $9,000 to make sure that that $5,000 becomes under 50% of our total earnings. So you really want to be sure, even if you're having a great day in the combine, that you don't make too much, because you're actually then going to have to end up spending even more time in the combine later. And then the second rule here is that maximum loss limit that we were talking about on the prior page as well. In this case, it cannot go below $145,500. And so that is that $4,500 trailing loss limit. And now with that, let's get into day 1 of conquering the combine. All right, so it is time now to start our first day of trading. But before we do, we know what Topstep's rules are, but we also want to set ground rules for ourselves to make sure that we set ourselves up for success in this combine. Now, as I mentioned, the max lot size that we could take is 15 contracts, but there is no way that we are going to do that if we want to be successful. We are going to be taking no more than 3 contracts at any given time on a trade. Additionally, Topstep X has a great feature that lets us set a personal daily loss limit, and we're going to set that to $1,800. The reasons for that is my stops are generally in the ballpark of 10 to 12 points, so this is going to give us 3 swings at the plate before we're stopped out for the day with 3 contract lot sizes. And if we do go 0-3, we want to get out of the market because we're not seeing things properly that day, and we don't want to blow through our whole 4,500 drawdown and lose our account in one day. So we're going to set that. We're also going to go ahead and set a personal daily profit target of $4,500. So like we mentioned before, we don't ever want to make more than that. So if we do hit $4,500, the platform itself is going to lock us out so that we don't accidentally make too much money and ruin our 50% consistency rule. Now let's dive into today's trades. All right, so let's take a look at how we fared in the market today. And at first glance, this 3-minute chart looks messy, and it is. We did not execute as well or as cleanly as we could have today, but if you're following your risk parameters and you're following your rules, even on a day where you might not be seeing the market the best, you can come out on top as we did, and we'll show how that happened here. Now, firstly, you might be noticing the cleanest move happened in the morning. Right off open here, we had the 21,025 pre-market level bounce all the way up to our level of interest at 21,183. You might be asking, Bobby, you have the levels marked out. Why didn't you take any trades in that area? Well, today we had 2 large news prints at 9:45 and 10 a.m., and they were the manufacturing PMI and the ISM manufacturing PMI prints for the month of November. These, as we can see, are very big market movers, and they really thin out the market, making slippage possible and the very, very whippy price action that we saw here. So for the first day of a new combine, I didn't want to trade these news events and thus chose to wait later in the day. Now, if we were to take a look at where we made most of our executions here, it is in and around this consolidation of our 21,183 level. Now, this was an area of significance and one that we wanted to take trades off of. However, I didn't anticipate the consolidation around this level for as long as it did occur, and that caused us to be a bit impatient. If we zoom out and look at the 15-minute chart, it was a great level. We moved up to price, it then consolidated here, dipped above, dipped below, and then we did finally get that breakaway move that we were looking for, and it was even retested later in the day and still held up as support. Now, as I mentioned before though, the good news is that because we were trading small size, because we were keeping our losses manageable and our wins of equal size, we were able to finally catch that good breakaway long trade and end with a nice profit on the day. So let's go ahead and take a look at that trade live and see how it played out. Okay, so we can see here we take our entry at a re-break and hold of our 183 level. We're risking about $600, just a little bit more than that on this trade here with 3 contracts long. So our stop, as we can see there, is right around 174. And our initial profit target is looking around those 230s. Now, the reason for the 230 level is that that is a point of significance and a prior high that was kind of left untouched on the 15-minute level. So let's take a look at how this trade plays out. One thing that I was being very cognizant of while we were in this trade is, as we saw prior, the action here was very wicky. So what I'm really trying to do here is give this trade the room it needs. And you can actually see I am taking my stop loss down a bit under that most recent swing low. And my objective here is really to not touch this trade from here on out now until we reach a new high. So until we break that 204.5 high that's currently set. And alternatively, if it does come down and stops us out for the day, as I mentioned before, we weren't trading our best, and that's okay too. So now I'm going to turn things over to the trade and we'll see how it plays out. Okay, so checking back in, things are going pretty well here. We're finally getting that strong reaction to the long side off of 183, and we ourselves have not interfered with the trade finally. We didn't move our stop too soon or get too antsy in the position, and we can see now that our unrealized P&L is eclipsing our realized negative P&L, and we're back to overall green on the day. So as we're now approaching new highs here, I am going to move our stop just a little bit to lock in some profit in case we do have a very strong rejection off of those highs now that we've broken 200. As you can see highlighting there with the mouse, the last time we got up there, we really spilled off. But instead, what are we doing? We're breaking to new highs. That's fantastic. And we're going to scale one contract off there, the fill being at 675 over that 4.5 level, exactly what we wanted. So now we're really sitting pretty in the driver's seat. We have one contract sold for an over 20-point gain. We have two contracts still on with a stop loss in at just about 12 points in the profit. And we're still looking for our original 228 target level and maybe even beyond as well. So let's get back over to the trade, practice some patience, and watch this play out. All right, so the trade is continuing to work in our favor. That's fantastic. And as we're now expanding upward into the 210s here, we can see we're moving our stop loss just a bit. And where are we moving it to? Well, 202.5 is just below that prior high that we were looking to break earlier at 204.5. So the reason for moving our stop up here is that we don't want that prior high to give up. Price might come back down, test 205, 204, and if it does, we're okay with that. But if we give up that prior high, buyers might have said, that's enough for the day. We're going to let a pullback occur deeper. What you can also see we're doing is now we're really breaking out. And this is a very strong move looking at the 15-minute. This is quite a breakaway pattern. So I still am targeting that 228 level. However, what I've done is I'm now only going to try to take one off at 228 and save another runner, our final contract of the three, to maybe get higher over that 261 all-time high is where I'm looking here with kind of an arbitrary sell up at 274. Well, it looks like the market is continuing in our favor here, so we're going to move that stop loss up to 212, just trailing the low of the 3-minute bar, not wanting to get too greedy and give back too much. And it's just playing with our exit there at 228. But again, we don't want to overmanage our trades. So on that note, I'm going to shut my mouth and let's see how the price action pays off. Oh, amazing. And look at that. Patience did pay off, and we get a contract off just above 228, 228.75 to be exact, at our full profit target. And now we still have a runner. So we don't want to give up too much profit with the runner here. So you can see me adjusting the stop loss, and we're going to finally get comfortable with that just under that 220 level of significance, starting to trail very aggressively now that this is a great trade here. But this runner is all gravy. If we look in the top left at our realized P&L, we're up over $600 on the day with 650 additional bucks locked in on our stop loss and profit here. And at this point, the sky's the limit. Will the trade come back on us? Will it hit that final profit target? Only time will tell, but it's really, really important to remember that when a trade's working in your favor like this, just be patient. People get very, very antsy to take profit, but this is when it's easy. We can't lose anymore. So why mess up a good thing? Let's let the trade play out and see where things end up. checking back in here, and we can see that we've moved our stop again even further, just below that consolidation now at 22.5, locking in $755 on our last runner here. And we can see that after hitting 238, just around that 240 swing high, the market is starting to pull back. Now, when you do see, these kind of pullbacks, would it be okay to say, hey, we're up 50 points. That's $1,000 on one contract. I should take it off here. Absolutely it is. But as I mentioned before, we're already up on the day, so I am trying to give this a little bit of room to work out in our favor, and maybe we get that crazy 100-point trade where our sell currently is sitting. But let's see how that plays out here with our final adjustments to the trade locked in, and now all that is left to do on our end is wait. And we can see, as luck would have it, the market did come back down and break that consolidation on some volume and has stopped us out of the trade. But what an excellent trade it was. In just one 3-lot execution, we went from down about $600 to up over $1,400. That to me seems like a great place to end things for the day. So we're going to go ahead and use Topstep X's manual lockout feature to make sure that I cannot take any more trades today. Even if I want to FOMO into a power hour move, I don't have the ability to. And we're going to lock ourselves out until next session, securing a beautiful green day. All right, so that concludes day one of conquering the combine, and we were able to net a nice profit of $1,406. And how did we get there? Across 8 trades with a 50% win ratio, with our largest winning trade being $2,060 and our largest losing trade being $660. That's really, really great, speaking to the importance of risk and reward, as even though we only won half the time, we finished way, way up with our largest winner more than 3 times the size of our largest loser. So can't wait for day 2, and until next time, trading homies, stay green.